Hi guys, welcome to Game Week 25 at Nathbet.com. Hope you're all very, very well indeed. As you can see, I'm not in San Diego this week. I'm back in lovely Las Vegas with the beautiful strip behind me. That's because we're here for Super Bowl weekend. The Baltimore Ravens against the San Francisco 49ers. Wherever the biggest sporting event is in the world, Nathbet will follow. I'll give you that tip right at the end of this broadcast, but first of all, let's get on with the proper football, the double, treble and the fourfold. Very, very interesting transfer deadline day and midweek fixtures. Had to wait until they all finished and see who went where. But I think we've got some really, really big prices this weekend. In fact, just looking over the fixtures and the prices before I did this broadcast, I think the biggest we've ever tipped at Nathbet.com. Really, really big prices. I'm going to have a huge, huge bet on this first tip this weekend, the double, just because I really like it and I think the prices are right. Queen's Park Rangers are the first bet in the safe double this week. We're backing them to beat Norwich City. Now, Queen's Park Rangers, without the craziness of yesterday, of deadline day, did more than their fair share of attacking against Manchester City. It held the champions to a very admirable 0-0 draw. Since then, they've improved, they've got better. Squad is definitely stronger. But to be honest, I think that even if they hadn't signed anyone, I'd back them to win this weekend at home to Norwich. That result must have given them a huge amount of confidence. And if they are going to avoid the drop with that huge backing that Tony Fernandes has given Harry Redknapp, I think that they're more than capable of beating Norwich City. Okay, they added Becchio in the transfer window. It remains to be seen whether he'll start or come off the bench. But I just think that Queen's Park Rangers at home, if they're going to survive relegation, they need to be winning games like this. And I think that evens is a huge, huge price about Queen's Park Rangers. So we take them as the first bet in our double, along with Manchester City. Yes, the team that were held at Queen's Park Rangers, much to the annoyance of us. However, we backed them again against Liverpool. Now, Liverpool came away from the Emirates with an admirable 2-2 draw. However, I think Manchester City at home against a wounded Roberto Mancini. Okay, he's lost Mario Balotelli, but he wasn't really in the equation. I think that Man City will be too strong for them. They're just under even money. Manchester City 11-13, 5-6 with most bookmakers. So Queen's Park Rangers and Manchester City. Like I said, I'm going to have a really, really big bet on this double this week. I really, really like it. If you have make this bet yourself, please tweet us in, put some messages on Facebook. Show us your bet, show us your coupon. It always gives us a nice warm feeling when we know that our punters are backing the same bets that we are. That's a 2.7 to 1 double with Betfred and Ladbrokes. Make sure you get that one on, boys. I really fancy that one this week. Treble. West Ham United against Swansea City. Which way am I going to tip this one? Well, I'm going to go with the away team. West Ham United have been absolutely horrendous. They really have, and I think that they are going to be one of the teams that are going to be struggling come the end of the season, probably looking for a last day win if they're going to avoid relegation. Now, no one wants to get relegated this season. That's why so much money flowed about with the TV prices and the TV money and the revenue that's going to come in next season. No one wants to get relegated. West Ham are in serious trouble. They're talking about Andy Carroll maybe coming off the bench or whatever, but you can't tell whether that's going to be this week, next week or in a month's time. Swansea City, even without Michu, who's gone quiet in the last 4 or 5 weeks, have still get their results. Fair dues to them. They're winning at home. They're getting admirable draws away. Sunderland being the latest one. To go to West Ham and being priced at 6-4, 7-4 in some places is really, really, I think they're overpriced. I would have them near enough even money against the West Ham side. They were just so devoid in confidence. I mean, they just got soundly beaten by Fulham in midweek. Swansea City we're going to take to beat West Ham at 6-4 at Upton Park. Wigan Athletic against Southampton. Now, Wigan were another one that bust our balls at the midweek, especially when Stoke City went 2-0 up at home to the Britannia. I'd actually closed every single laptop off, turned the TV off because I knew that was dead and buried. That was a guaranteed win for us. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I said Roberto Martinez is an excellent manager, and so it proved because they came back from the dead to rescue a 2-2 draw. That will give them great confidence going into a home game. Now, these are the kind of home games that Wigan win, and that's how they stay in the league time and time again, season after season. Wigan Athletic to beat Southampton. I fancy Wigan to win this one. 6-5 is the price about Wigan. We're going to take them along with Swansea. And the third team to make up our treble, Spurs. Again, Spurs, another disappointing display away from home. They're back away from home against West Brom, who have got their troubles. They've definitely fallen, had a big fall from grace since the start of this season. This Odemwingie horrendous transfer that was on off, and then eventually off. Definitely, if it's going to affect the club, and I think that the state of mind isn't going to be the best going into this game. Spurs are in need of a win. At least Gareth Bale scored at the end in the 80th minute in their 1-1 draw. If he's on fire, then I don't think that West Brom will have too much of an answer. Again, 6-5 about Spurs to beat West Brom. Spurs, Wigan and Swansea are the treble this week, guys. That is a very, very juicy 15-1 treble. That's with Pinnacle and Bet365. Okay, on to the fourfold. We're moving away from the Premier League, going into the Championship and League One. Two teams in the Championship first. Watford, the form team at home. The form team actually in the whole of the Football League at the moment, Watford. They entertain West Brom, no, I assume. West Brom at home, no they don't. They entertain Bolton at home. Excuse me, maybe next season, you never know. 17-14, 6-5 about Watford. We're going to take them to beat Bolton Wanderers, who struggle away from home. They've definitely improved at home, but on the travels, still weak, especially in the first half. They concede, I think, the majority of the goals in the first half. If Watford score early, we think that we're going to be home and dry. So that's Watford to beat Bolton, 17-14, 6-5 about some bookmakers. Now this one hurts me to say, it really does, especially with my betting against the club that I support. That's very, very close to my heart, but I've got to do it. Ipswich to beat Middlesbrough this weekend, 9-5, very, very big price. Ipswich, who are so strong at home. Middlesbrough, magnificent start. I still think they're going to make the playoffs this season, but they are on a horrendous run of form. They did not pick up a single point in January, and they're the worst team in the Football League. Away from home, lost 5 and only drawn 1 out their last 6. That's a bit of a nightmare equation, really. So they don't need, especially with they've got Kieran Dyer on deadline day. I think he'll probably come off the bench, whether he's fit or not, I'm not sure. Hopefully he is, but I just think that the Ipswich are going to be too much for Middlesbrough, unfortunately. Fortunate for Nathbet, obviously, if you're gonna back them. 9-5 Ipswich, we're going to take them. Watford Ipswich in the Championship. Sorry I'm a bit sniffly this week, guys. I've not been particularly well over the last 2 or 3 days, but I'm well enough to do this broadcast. I will be well enough to do every broadcast until week 38, I can promise you that. League One, guys, to finish off, Walsall and Tranmere are the two teams that we're tipping as the last 2 fixtures. Walsall are against Oldham. Oldham, horrific away record. Walsall, absolutely fantastic at home, especially in the last 6 games. They're undefeated, and we expect them to stay undefeated and pick up all 3 points. 6-5 about Walsall. And Tranmere against Carlisle. Carlisle, the 3rd worst record away from home in the league. And I think that Tranmere, they're not magnificent at home, but they very rarely get beaten. They've won 3, drawn 2, and lost 1 out their last 6. However, signs are good. They've got a lot of players back to full fitness this week, and they're even money to beat Carlisle. I'm going to take them at even money. Big price, this, guys. 24-1 fourfold with Bet365. Definitely worth a $5 of your money if ever I saw. Double, treble and fourfold, guys. 2.7-1, 15-1 and 24-1. Very nice prices this week. And remember, if you've got a spare pound, remember Pete's long shot is always worth a cheeky quid or 50p. Alright, guys, have a good one. And I said I was going to give you that Super Bowl prediction. San Francisco 49ers are the team to bet in the Super Bowl. Alright, guys, take care. Have a good one. See you soon. Bye-bye.